for me. He did it about 4 or 5 times. I didn't mean to offend anyone. I just got to do what's right for our club.
The only part that was sweaty on me was actually my hair. So I had to take off my hat to be able to try to get any type of, try to get some type of moisture on my hand to try to, mix with the rosin. For me, that's the confusing part is I'm just trying to get a grip of the ball. And you can even watch in that previous at bat, the ball slipped out of my hand, almost drilled somebody in the face.
Okay, Dodgers star Clayton Kershaw among the many that saw that viral clip following the Dodgers game on Tuesday night. Kershaw defending Scherzer, calling for consequences on managers if they call for checks and find nothing. I think there should be a punishment if they don't catch anything on the guy. Scherzer, one of the best pitchers of a generation. To see him get checked, I think it was a first and third situation or guys on base and mess up his rhythm. I think he ended up getting out of it, but you better find something if you are going to call him out like that. Stephen A., has baseball gone too far?
I think yes. Listen, the bottom line is, sometimes we all know shenanigans go on with pitches. And Max, I won't go long with this, Max. I'll go with you, and then I'll come back after you say what you have to say. But you can go a bit too far, and I think that last night was a perfect example. I'm going to say this, Max. I think Girardi should be ashamed of himself. I really do. I side with Clayton Kershaw on this. And I'm going to use the word ashamed when it comes to Joe Girardi, a man of very, very, very high integrity for this reason. Because of his high integrity, because of the principled man that we all have known him to be from his days with the Yankees, obviously, to now, a great manager as far as I'm concerned. When you cast suspicion on somebody, it has weight. It matters because we know how principled you are. So to just dismiss it as you didn't mean to offend anybody, but you just got to do what's right for your team. No, it's bigger than just your team. It's bigger than just the game. You are questioning the integrity of a 3-time Cy Young Award winner, a surefire first ballot future Hall of Famer, one of the great pitchers this game has ever seen, who had already been checked twice because that's allowed in the game, to then call upon him to be checked a third time. You are casting aspersions and great levels of suspicion on Max Scherzer. And if there is no evidence for that, to you to sit there and just say, oh, I've never seen him put his hand in his head like that and all of that stuff, knowing how the high integrity man that you are, the principled man that you are, and the weight that you cast the suspicions on somebody would bring because you're so respected as an individual. It's not just about the game, and it's not just about your team. It's about the overall game of baseball and the integrity that you brought into question about Max Scherzer. If I'm Max Scherzer, I would have a huge problem with Joe Girardi, the man today, because a game is not worth what he did to Max Scherzer. Max Scherzer did not deserve that. That's what I took from it, Max.
I disagreed with your point in the beginning. I thought you argued it persuasively, but I have a different, bigger point to make, Stephen A. I love baseball. I know you did, too. I know your dad was a big baseball guy. My father grew up in the South Bronx, like in the shadow of Yankee Stadium, basically, in the 40s and 50s. Like, I love baseball. But I'm just sad about this because the only time we talk baseball is when there's a scandal or during the World Series. And as a boxing fan, I can tell you that is bad news, baseball fans. You usually don't come back from that. If you are marginalized to the point where we only talk about you on a national show, locally it's still it's got a following. But nationally, if there's a scandal or during the World Series and otherwise you get no shine nationally on shows, on First Take or other national shows, it's sad. You know why, Stephen A.? While people are talking about who has sticky stuff on their head and all this kind of stuff, Jacob deGrom, the Mets ace, is doing something right now by
Big
far.
time.
Look
Big
in
time.
the world of sports this year. No one's come close to doing what he's doing in the NBA, Major League Baseball, or the NFL. I mean, this dude has 12 starts at a .5 ERA to start the season. This is one of the great streaks ever, history of sports. And no one's talking about it because we're talking about, and by the way, when they checked him for sticky stuff, he was laughing. He's like, check me all you want. I'm clean. So it just makes me sad as a baseball fan. I thought you argued your point persuasively, but I think there's a bigger point here.
Max, Stephen A., I'm sorry to cut you guys off. Max, you were so great on this, but we got a heart out here. When we come back, Kawhi Leonard has been one of the best players in the NBA over the last decade since he was drafted 10 years ago today. Time flies. But is he the biggest draft day steal ever? Our guys say no way. We get into that next.